Could police search a car for DUI evidence when the driver was found down the street? All right. Hey, guys, my name is Anthony Bandiero. I'm an attorney and senior legal instructor for Blue to Go Law Enforcement Training. Bring the Roadside Chat. This question comes from an officer in California. So we had a 911 call of a reckless driver that parked in front of his house and walked down the block. Upon police arrival, the subject matched the description of the driver and was around the corner away from his vehicle. The driver stated an unknown subject was following him, and he was scared. And that's why he parked. He didn't park in his house or at his house. You know, he just parked down the street a little bit and was walking away. Then the cop says, well, why didn't you, walk right into your house? He says, well, if the guy's following me, I don't want to, I don't want the guy to see where I lived. So this story is already kind of BS, right? There's nobody else around. People are calling in about his driving, so he probably knows the cops are en route. Okay, so he had keys in his pocket. Let's say we found those lawfully. He admitted that he was driving the vehicle. He admitted that we can tell that he's intoxicated, and he was arrested for DUI. The money question for us right now is, could we get into the vehicle and search it? We have the keys and so forth. All right. Well, there are a few ways to search a vehicle, for evidence. Number one is with consent. You can always ask this guy for consent. Number two is probable cause. Do you have a fair probability that there would be evidence of the crime in that vehicle, right? Well, you have to tell me what it is, but I will tell you first that if you think you could get a search warrant, then you have the probable cause. I mean, that's what probable cause is. Sometimes I'll ask cops, like, they'll say, no, we can't really search it, but I think I just go get a warrant. And I say, well, time out. If you're telling me you can go get a warrant, then you're telling me you think you have probable cause. If you have probable cause, you have the motor vehicle exception. So you could search it. You just maybe don't want to because you want the confidence that a search warrant gives you, which is completely fine, but keep those two things separate, right? Whether you want to or whether or not you can. So what could give you some probable cause? How about, again, the fact that he just came from the vehicle, he's walking away from the vehicle, there could be evidence, that's an indication that he's trying to distance himself from the vehicle. Maybe he tells you that he was at a friend's house. That is an indicator that maybe he brought some BYOB, with him. Maybe he tells you he only had 2 beers at the bar, but clearly he's more than 2 beers deep. That gives you information that, he's potentially has open containers in the vehicle. Maybe he's DUI drugs and, you search him. There's no drugs on his person. In your training experience, do they have methamphetamine pipes, means of ingestion, needles, drugs for later? The answer is yes. That could be in the car. So that's the first question. Do you have probable cause? But do not go into court and be like, oh, Your Honor, if I have a DUI, I get a search. Automatic. Any other questions, Your Honor? That's not how it works. Articulate specific reasons about why you think there's evidence in that vehicle. If there is, you can open it with the keys that you got and search it. Another exception is evidence-related searches. This comes from Arizona versus Gant. So in Arizona versus Gant, they said, look, you can't just search a car incident to arrest anymore as a matter of routine, but you could search it if you have reason to believe that offense-related evidence is inside the vehicle. Now, Arizona versus Gant contemplates that this is a traffic stop. This is not, it does not contemplate that we have a guy, with a car, he's arrested for whatever at his house. His car is parked in front of his house, but he had nothing to do with the car. Like, he wasn't in the car. And you're like, oh yeah, I have reason to believe there's evidence in that car. I'm going to go and search it, right? That's you need probable cause for that. That's a better one to use. But this one's a little different though. There is an argument that this is a recent motor vehicle occupant. And there's some case law that if a person was a recent motor vehicle occupant, this is a little older case before Gant, then the vehicle was considered connected to them for search, instant to arrest purposes. Now, that old school case, doesn't work anymore for the proposition that if he was associated with it recently, we get to search it as incident to arrest. Remember, Gantt got rid of that. But Gantt did also said that we can still search it if we have a reason to believe evidence is aside there. So it is a question that's open for debate about whether or not the person is a recent occupant and you just don't catch up to him and immediately, but he's already out of the vehicle. Here it was 10 minutes. Whether or not that's close enough in time. Personally, me, probably no. I'm going to say no on here. Okay, I don't want to be making bad case law. 10 minutes is an eternity, in many respects for these kind of deals. So if he got out of the car, shut the door, it was like walking like right down the street, and you got him a few seconds later, maybe a minute at the most. Okay, fine, maybe we can stretch it. But 10 minutes, I'm a no-go under that type of search. So what's the answer? Probable cause. Do you have probable cause? There's evidence in that car. If the answer is yes, go ahead and search it. Finally, the officer brings up stale misdemeanor. In California, and it's really the only state that really even does this, but in California, there's this concept of stale misdemeanor where you're not supposed to be making an arrest for something that is stale, right? Think of breach of the peace, and you find the guy the next morning. And the breach of the peace was a misdemeanor, and you could have arrested him, but the guy, somehow got away, right? Not flight or anything like that, but just you didn't catch him in time, and you see him the next morning. That's a stale misdemeanor. You're not supposed to be making an arrest in California for something that's not ongoing anymore. That's not what's happening here. There is no stale misdemeanor issue here. First of all, stale misdemeanor applies to the arrest, not the search. The second thing is that we caught this guy relatively quick after the 911 call. So the activity, the criminal activity is like still ongoing. We're still trying to do our investigation. We're still trying to figure out what the heck is going on here. So no stale misdemeanor violation. All right? Okay, thank you guys so much. And until next time, my friends, stay safe.